Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Heaven's Design Team. I know nothing about the series, apart from the fact that it is, in fact, called Heaven's Design Team. I guess the tagline is "What a Strange Animal," or maybe that's like the tagline for this volume. In any case, like, based on the visuals... Oh, I just noticed the fluffy wing thing here. So, maybe these are, like, the creators of animals in heaven. That is such a crazy idea for a series. Also, I saw two names here. I was like, okay, so it's a writer-artist duo. No, it's a writer-artist trio. Huh, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Ooh, oh boy, we're getting character profiles right in the very starts. They wouldn't put them there if I wasn't supposed to read them, so sure, why not? So, Shimoda, New Angel. Ueda, Shimoda's supervisor. Okay. Mr. Saturn. Oh, okay, so the rest of these are like planet names, interestingly enough. Ooh, okay, head of the design department is Saturn. He made the horse. Jupiter made the cow. Mercury made the snake. Venus made the bird. And Venus is also female, which would not have expected here. Like, I guess maybe from different angles, but right now Venus looks very androgynous to me. Pluto made the poisonous frog. Okay, that makes sense, because if we're going by, like, Roman deity names, then she is, you know, of the underworld. Neptune made the kangaroo. That makes very little sense if we're going by the Roman gods. And then Mars. Okay, so Mars actually tests the animal designs. Okay, so I think I can kind of see what the dynamic of the series might be. In that we have Shimoda, who just has to, like... It's actually, the clients. I'm not totally sure what he's going to do then. I guess he's going to be the in-between. Like, all the designers make animals. They banter over, like, well... does this make any sense? Mars tests all the animals to see if they'll work. Shimoda goes to the client, who I have to assume is, like, not God, but maybe, like maybe a saint or something? And the client is like, well, I need this kind of animal. And Shimoda's like, all right, so how about this? And they're like, oh no, a platypus. This cannot possibly work. Something like that. Ooh. Okay, so 7 chapters, which is good. It means this isn't a monthly series. And at the very, like, in between chapters, we get the Encyclopedia of Real Animals. Okay, I am very excited. I love animals. So, like, even if the rest of the series isn't that interesting, the fact that they're bothering to, like, focus on the animals means that I'm going to be very into it. But I hope the series is really good. Okay, light, water, and earth, that you create beings to inhabit his realm. Animals and... Well, he thought about it, but got too lazy. He decided to outsource the project instead. Okay, so humans as we know them do not exist right now. This is what, like, this entire series is presumably going to take place between, like, from the start of when he started making animals to the end, before humans came into the being. Like, assuming we're going with, like, a biblical god, which I have to assume so, because of, like, the way this is written. And also, like, almighty god, as opposed to, like, one of many gods. So yeah, I assume it's gotta be that. Okay. And also, based on this shot, I have to assume the entire design team's going to be here. Like, we're not going to get all of them one by one. Or, like, if we do, they'll all be in the first chapter. It won't be, like, you know, a constant thing throughout the series. Okay, fair enough. We're an OEM. God is our clients. This is great. They're like the Samsung or, like, you know, the LG of animals. Okay, my Pegasus. Fair enough. Oh, I assume that in that case, like, because the horse was his masterpiece, he's going to keep on making horse-like creatures. Yep. Also, it's really interesting that, like, the horse is famous, but there are no humans. So this means that, like, just within the realm of heaven, people are, like, looking at the animals as the animals are, like, coming into being. Okay. I mean, how can it eat, though? The point is to eat high leaves that are high up off the ground. Also, because of this, I assume they're going to end up making the giraffe, which is something that I think Mr. Saturn could make. Like, a giraffe really is just a horse with a long with a long neck in terms of, like, design, right? Okay, I assume this guy's going to be where, like, the platypuses and, like, the crazy stuff comes from. Although, I don't know, like, I feel like that kind of thing, like, really weird animals would be the main focus of the series. But, I mean, there's a lot of them, but a lot of them are, like, you know, sea creatures. That is pretty crazy. Like, this, I mean, more so than, like, the platypus. I assume he made the Venus flytrap. Like, he's going to make all those creatures that are very, like, very individualistic. Things where it's like, okay, I can't think of anything else that does something like this. Or, like, you know, only a few in the world do things like that. Ooh, okay. Neptune's long-necked deer. What a childish concept. Oh, there's this great, like, intermediary, like, idea of the series. Like, in the series itself, we have the animal, like, designs. Then we have the reactions in the world itself. But then we have the audience reaction of, like, oh, well, long-necked deer, like, that's pretty close to a giraffe. Like, something that the characters themselves don't realize, but we as the audience can realize. Ooh, that's really neat. All right. I mean, it is the most viable option here. So let's see. Right. So you can't just like pick one. You've got to test them, which is quite exciting. Like, I hope like half of these chapters, or like, half of each chapter's content is just like testing, or is just like, well, this is why this design won't work. I'd be super ripped. And that's really cool too. Like, even though we are working with a heavenly order, at the same time, like for the purpose of the comedy of the series, and also for just like, as a reason for why some will work and some won't, they have to consult real world physics. Ooh, that's real cool. That's real cool. I love this general idea of like taking an animal, which is already just it's crazy how like a lot of animals can be relatively similar while at the same time being incredibly different, and how like according to our current theory of evolution, most like evolution comes entirely from trial and error. Like, sure, you have natural selection, but even that is trial and error. It's not like species like specifically intends to gain certain features. It's more just like some do, some don't, and the ones that get like interesting mutations that manages to help them survive are the ones that pass on their genes. But like, there's no real intent there. So the idea of a series where we just like add an intent onto all of these like strange quirks of evolution, like it's so cool. So in order for the Pegasus design to work, it'd have to be a super ripped, muscular horse that sends manure shooting down from the sky. Plus, it'd have to be extra light in order to stay motionless in the air. Yeah, so it can't eat leaves. It would have to like swoop down constantly. You know what? I would honestly be really fine if this was his deal. If every single time he introduced them. Okay, never mind. I don't want that. That would be real boring. I think it's a funny idea in theory, but in practice, like, it wouldn't work. But like in general, just like making horse designs is a cool idea. Also, this is an idea. Like, we don't know what creatures they have and haven't already made. Like, we know they made the horse, for instance. So that's like that's off the table as far as like new creatures come. But like the acorn barnacle, for instance. Like, wow, I can't say that. Like, I would not have thought that was one of the first things that the Heavenly Order would have created, like before what I assume is going to be the giraffe. Okay, we had trouble figuring out how to reproduce, so we thought, let's just give it an extra long penis. This is true. Oh my gosh, acorn barnacles are pretty crazy. Like, I think that's just barnacles in general, though, right? Where they have like the really long dick and they just kind of like flop it around all over the place in order to like eventually stick it in something. Oh man, that was a good like. I'm like flashing back to my high school days, and to just be looking at this tiny like CRT screen that was wheeled in, and the entire class was just gazing intently on this barnacle like whipping its penis around. That was a good time. It's also real interesting that they have like these facts when in their own universe these things could change, but like in our universe they won't. They're the design team. At any point they can decide, yeah, let's make another creature with a long penis. Let's beat the acorn barnacle. But they can't because we know what world they end up creating. For the most part, like it's possible that they'll end up making a fantasy world. Like, it's kind of like in Akagi, for instance. This is a real weird tangent, but in Nobuyuki Fukumoto's Akagi, like, Akagi is a prequel. And so there are points where it's like, okay, so they're teasing something that will happen, but it cannot happen because we know what happens after this, and what happens here cannot possibly lead to the future that we know exists. But there's always that fear of like, well, why can't it? Like, Nobuyuki Fukumoto could, at the very end of Akagi, just decide, oh, by the way, just so you know, this is a different timeline, and you can just absolutely change it. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. So even when I'm reading the series, I'm going to have that in the back of my mind. Like, at any point, these angels could decide to make a fantasy world, and then I have no idea what they'll choose. Okay. Right. Needs a big heart, or else it falls over. Yeah, how's it going to drink water? It's not going to be able to stand back up. Okay. Yeah, so halfway through. Kind of long legs, kind of long neck. It can drink water. It can eat. It can eat. I was gonna say it can eat trees. That's real cool. I think it'll turn out to be as tasty as a cow, and I want to do a taste test. That's also interesting in its own way. Now that I think about it, like it is a goof, but at the same time, like they are. If we're following the Judeo-Christian like logic of why animals exists for the sake of this universe, then you would assume that all animals exist in parts to, like to create a big varied world, but they also exist in order to, be of service to human beings. And so it would make sense actually to taste test all of the animals and to go like, okay, so this is a real dangerous animal. We need it for the ecosystem. So it's okay if this one is poisonous, or it's okay if this one can't do anything good for humans because they indirectly help humans. Whereas like with the giraffe, it's like, well, someday a human might need to hunt this thing, so let's make sure it tastes good. It's nothing like a deer anymore. It really isn't. Could we make the face a little more horsey? It's definitely already tasty. And I'll tackle the sexual behaviors. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be Pluto's deal. Like, not specifically making, like, deadly things, but working on the sex. Which is also a really good thing for a manga. Like, I love this idea of every single chapter we could potentially, depending on if the chapter needs it or not, just have Pluto come and go, and by the way, look at this penis. I'm down for that. God is contacting me. We have divine approval. Yeah, the giraffe passed. They did it. They made a giraffe. No, it ain't a pigeon. Wait, what? Wait, what? The ping pong tree sponge passed. It's gotta be deep sea. Oh my god, that's a real thing? Okay, if it's not in the encyclopedia at the end of this volume, I'm gonna have to look it up. I didn't realize that was a real thing, but like it does make sense. Yeah, this was always mind-blowing as a kid. They bring it up a lot in like mind-blowing facts for kids, that there are only 7 bones in a giraffe's neck. That is nuts. Right? Giraffes have been known to engage in homosexual behavior. Actually, I didn't think about that, but the fact that they specifically mentioned that in this manga that is specifically saying, oh, by the way, like, all of their sexual behaviors had to have been approved by gods, like, specifically by God, means that I didn't even think about that. Like, with Pluto, I assumed when she said sexual behaviors, I assumed what she meant was, the giraffe penis, which they have some weird-looking penises. But that means that she specifically decided, like, hey, giraffes are going to be gay. And God specifically said, yeah, sure, that's fine. Like, whoa, that's not really subversive, because it's also, like, a Japanese series. But still, like, I didn't expect that. That's pretty cool. Right. You're sometimes known to eat small animals. Ooh, okay, so we're getting all 3 of them. This is nice. Right, they're hermaphroditic, but they do engage in sexual reproduction. Like, they could self-impregnate from what I understand, but, like, it's bad for the gene pool. So, like, they are just designed so that they will try to impregnate something else. Okay, yeah, so it is carnivorous. So it doesn't eat plants and stuff, like the angel said it would. Has a Velcro-like texture. Ooh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really neat. This juxtaposition is also really cool. Like, man, so far, this has been a great series. I'm super into it. I've been reading a lot of series recently, or like I've been looking at a bunch of series, and so far, I've got to say, the ones that involve animals have been instant pickups. For better or for worse. Alright, I introduce you to a new creature that will change everything. Straight up the Steve Jobs turtleneck. This is beautiful. Okay, so we've got the horse. I'd like to make a few evolutionary changes. Front legs, unnecessary. Back legs, superfluous. One hole for mating, another for waste elimination. No need for both. Are we making some sort of bird? I present our groundbreaking new design, the snake. Oh boy. What a sales pitch. Okay, take the horse. We're gonna turn into a snake. Also, it's really surprising that they already like approved the snake. I feel like for a series that's about Heaven's design team, like I thought that would have been like an entire arc in the future of like, the snake, and then God deciding eventually that the snake is going to, be symbolic of the devil. There's an incident on Earth between Mercury's snake and Venchan's bird. I'm wondering now. Okay, so they have a rivalry because, like, I assume they have to introduce these animals to the world, like, one design at a time. And so, so I guess they can like observe the world as it exists with the animals they currently have. That's what he meant by loved it. The snake can eat an egg. Oh man. It's a foodie. Okay, so they have like a straight up porthole. Oh, this also introduces the possibility of like, okay, so a design's been approved by God. So now it's out there, but now we fucked up. If we don't get this design in check, it's going to destroy the world. So let's create another animal to like deal with it. Oh, that's really cool because there's a lot of like complex interactions in the animal worlds. So again, this idea of taking something that is natural that just kind of like happened to come together over time and just saying like, okay, well, what if a team of angels had to come up with it? Oh, it's such a good idea. This is true. Like, snakes are really cool and really powerful. Like, they do feel kind of like cheating. They feel like the cheating characters in the animal kingdom. Like, man, you shouldn't be able to do this many things. And I guess this is true, actually. Like, once they create one design, they can always, like, look back on it. Like, just like the, like the horse. They can just, like, once they made the egg, that opened up the door for, like, hey, let's make so many other creatures that hatch out of eggs. And so naturally, if someone were to try and come up with an egg that can't be eaten, then everyone else wants to piggyback on it. Yeah, that would be very hard to pass. We can make them walk, or the parent could wrap them up and carry them. This is real good, though. I really like these off-the-wall ideas that he brings up. Because, yeah, it is very, like, it's almost Steve Jobs-esque in a way. Like, I don't remember this, but I was listening to this podcast called Acquired, which is one of my favorite podcasts. It's about, like acquisitions and IPOs and whatnot. And they had an entire episode on, I want to say it was just the iPod. It might have been Apple in general, but I think it was just the iPod. Or it might have been Beats, even. But they were talking about, like, the first iPhone and how it was so revolutionary that people honestly were like, well, there's no way. Like, they don't have the technology to make something like this. This has to be a mock-up. But no, it was real. And just how mind-blowing that was. And, like, a lot of that does come from, like, having an idea and going, like, all right, so let's make it happen. Even if it doesn't seem very feasible, we're going to make this thing happen. And, like, once we have it working, like, once we have a proof of concept, we can focus on making it viable. Oh no. Gotta hurry. It's fine. It's just a prototype. Yeah, so I guess they're not really alive creatures. Like, they're just, test creatures. Which is also nice. Like, we can't really, like, it doesn't make you feel bad for the creatures every time they die because the angels screw up a design. Oh no, rip. These are some good ideas, though. Like, if I didn't know about animals, I would absolutely be coming up with these ideas as, like, just an engineering problem of why doesn't this work? Also, I kind of like that there is this untold engineering problem here where, like, when they, like for that chick, for instance, they didn't just like say, okay, let's make it so that it hatches before the snake comes. They had to specifically design something there, like whether it's genetic or something else. They actually had to go into like what it is and come up with a way to make it detect the snake. That is in itself a really cool idea. That like they really are like programming these things. Like it really is computer engineering. Ooh, right. That also doesn't work. It would only work with an animal that can move right after it's born. Yeah, the snake is pretty broken. But again, there's this like competition now, this healthy competition of, well, we need to get rid of the snake, or like, we have to find something that can survive the snake. How do we do it? Wait, the frog? I can't believe the frog was approved. Okay. That is true, though. Yeah. I mean, that does make sense, but I thought they were going to have to resolve this by figuring out something that wasn't a frog. Because of the way they, like, reacted to it. That's also really sophisticated, that it has to be a predator's vibrations. Like, they can tell whether it's just rain, or if it's just, like, some other thing shaking the water, like shaking the leaf. Okay, so that's really cool. So, like, they didn't solve the problem yet, but they did approve a design. Huh, okay, because I was kind of disappointed there because I assumed this was the end of the chapter. So no, we're still going to figure this out. There's still, like, an actual answer. Oh, If the eggs can't escape on their own, then maybe you have to redesign the bird somehow. Right, it can't be a new species. Yeah, so they've got to do the egg specifically. They can't just make a new species of animal. that does it. They have to like create an egg design specifically that they can then apply to other species. Oh, wait, an update. When we add new functions to pre-existing animals. Okay, so when I was saying that before, what I assumed was that like from now on, like all the species they create would like be able to use that new like egg design. But no, so they can update pre-existing animals. So, oh my god, so evolution is real. Like it is evolution. So that means that the design team, like even after like creation happened and even after humans existed, they must still be up there like casually like manually going like, okay, so these birds are being killed off a lot, so let's push an update where a bunch of them are going to, you know, have better camouflage. Oh, that's really cool. Weaverbird hanging nest type approved. Okay. Did it work or did it not? Social weaver type of Weaverbird. Oh boy. Aww. That is really cool. Like it does really fit him that her, I mean. She is a girl, right? Yes. But that is really cool that like the bird just constantly keeps on trying. Like it works so well. We have divine approval, Secretary Bird. So God was just like, all right, so you can just make a bird that kills snakes. That's fine. That's fine. Also, I'm really happy that they made a Secretary Bird because I can't say recently, but back when the Agretzko shorts were coming out, I was watching those in like groups every time a couple would come out, and I've always really liked Washimi. I believe her name is Washimi, right? And so when the new Agretzko came out, I was very, very happy that she continued to be a cool character. Like honestly, I think she's a better character in the anime than she is in the shorts. Like a lot of characters in the shorts are very kind of like meh, even if they have really cool moments. Like I think the anime is really fantastic. Also, it's the first time I've seen like an anthro secretary bird specifically, and it's great because she is also actually a secretary. Anyways, so this is how food chains are formed. That makes a lot of sense if it comes down to like an angelic grudge of like, nah, I can beat your animal, well, I can beat your animal. They are true masters of risk management. All right, the common egg eater is. I didn't realize that there was a snake specifically called the common egg eater. Like I've known this is a thing snakes could do, but I didn't know like what species did it or not. Oh, that's real cool. Ooh, and then the Weaverbird. Ah, this is real cool. And yeah, I've heard of this before, the sociable weaver, where like the weavers just make this giant labyrinth in order to keep the snakes out, but the snakes can still like attempt to go through them. It's oh man. That is so unbelievably cool to me. It's a bug. Okay. That's a really big bug. That's the door to the insect department. Why? Okay. Oh, that actually makes sense. Like, they would scale them up for the sake of, like, being able to see them, but then when it comes down to, like, actually, like, making them viable in the real world, they would have to scale them down. I guess that also explains the, like, the giant insects in the past. If those are, like, you know, initial designs that they sent out before they were like, you know what, let's get rid of those, let's update them. It's like the only surviving ones are tiny. Oh no, don't touch the frog! Don't touch the poison dart frog! Rip, rip! Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And again, I like that Pluto was able to point that out. Like, it seems like her forte is both death and then also sex, which is kind of interesting. Like, she controls both death and life. Ooh, that's really cute. No, they eat the eggs their mother lays. Cannibalism! Cute creatures are Pluto's specialty. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure if I'd call that cute. It's cool, but ooh, oh boy, adorably uncute. Also, who is the client? Like, we know for a fact the client isn't God. There's a third party that is the client, or like, you know, the clients. So who in the world could the clients be? Like, because these don't seem like real angels, but they live in heaven. I have to assume that maybe they're like archangels, for instance, who are just like, ah, yes, we need an adorably uncute creature. Maybe it should have a better balance of cute and creepy, huh? So I can't just make all its components cute. So this design was 100% cute to her. So I guess her creepy design's gotta be like, you know, cute stuff. Oh, right. Miniaturization. So this is also really exciting, that whenever they create like a microscopic creature, or like, you know, just a small creature in general, they're going to have to go to the insect department, and then they'll make a giant version of it. Like, if this thing's going to be like a tapeworm, they're going to have to make a massive tapeworm. The horsehair worm. Okay. Oh no. What's Pluto making? What is she gonna make? It should have a forked penis for maximum cool factor. Wow, very cool. Its food will be poison. Yes, it eats poison. They'll be raised on poo. This is absolute madness. What did she make? Okay, toxic diets. Okay, it's got the pouch. A koala? That's what I'm thinking of? Because it eats poo. Koalas eat poo. Babies, their babies do cannibalize each other. They do eat poisonous things. They do have vertical pupils. Oh, it's gonna be a koala, right? Because the pouch really gave it away. There's only a few creatures in the world that have a pouch. I believe koalas have 2 vaginas and 2 penises. Or like forked penises and 2 vaginas. I might be thinking of something else. That might just be me like wanting it to be true. So I made its appearance completely unlovable. So, yep. Judging by her like sense of what things are cute and uncute, it's got to be a koala. Yeah, we got a koala. This is a great like last minute collaboration as well. I created a bird based on your frog. Want to make it poisonous? We can make it stronger than a snake. Yeah. Because also now we have this running thread of when he makes birds, he's going to want to make birds that are stronger than snakes or that, you know, can survive snake attacks. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Okay, what is the Pitohi? This is, I'm very like not, I don't know anything about them. Oh my gosh, okay. That's why they brought it up. I assumed with the coloring thing, they were going to just like make a general reference. Like, oh, well, it's got the same coloring. That's, you know, a coincidence in nature, but no, they have the exact same toxin as well. Wow. Okay, so they accumulated from the beetles they eat. But yeah, like the design team would go like, oh, well, this bird clearly can't make its own toxin, so let's, you know, get it from this other source, but we'll design it so it always gets that, you know, it always attacks that source. Oh my god, that is really clever. Wow. I really love, like, in general, when a series can take something that is, like, not fantasy and make it feel fantastical. And this really does feel fantastical. Like, all of the animals feel fantastical when we approach them with this sense of, well, like, is this a real thing? All right, proposal 4, we're making an animal that tastes delicious. So yeah, this is definitely his thing. Jupiter tries to make animals that are tasty. Oh boy, we dungeon meshy now. Oh no, oh no. And this is true. Like, some things need to be tasty, other things should, like, have, because of where they are in the food chain, they don't taste good. So naturally, if something is going to taste good, it may as well be tested to see if it really tastes really, really good. Huh, an anteater? Okay, Why is it posing like that? It's trying to intimidate Jupiter. It's a threat. Really? Huh. I mean, I do believe this. I do believe that herbivores always taste better than carnivores. And eating bugs, I don't know. I guess that's a thing. But I guess I don't eat a whole lot of creatures that eat bugs, or like that primarily eat bugs. Like, chickens eat bugs as well as their feed and whatnot, but I wouldn't call chickens like animals that eat bugs. Okay, The lion is so muscly it was disgusting. Yeah. Right, animals are more tender with less muscle. Slow animals contain more unsaturated fatty acids, so they really melt in your mouth. Ah, man, a sloth must taste really good then. Okay, I do know about this. Yeah, fast twitch and slow twitch muscles. Fast twitch muscles tend to be pretty dry. As far as I understand too, fast twitch also, like, it doesn't really retain flavor. So your fast twitch muscles will either, like, they'll taste like chicken, because, like, chickens are made out of mostly, like, fast twitch muscles, apart from, like, you know, the thigh and whatnot. But also, like, I believe that the flavor will also be, like, very dependent on, like, the environment it's in. Like, apparently human fingers taste different than other fast twitch muscles because of, like, how often we use our fingers for different things. Whereas with slow twitch muscles, like, they're just, like, steeped with flavor. What a creepy example. Also, it's interesting that they have concepts like this. Like, they've been bringing up, like, not a whole lot of, like, pop culture references. Not at all, in fact. But they do bring up a lot of, like, just concepts that would only exist if humans existed. I just thought I'd up its defenses. Yeah, okay, so it's not an anteater, it's an armadillo. Oh, okay, so they could do both then. Like, the armadillo is just an armored anteater, but then because the changes are real big, they have to, like, redo a bunch of things, so they'll be separate species. Trial Island? Oh my gosh, it's the Galapagos, right? Ooh, it's gonna be the Galapagos. Because that would make a lot of sense if that's where Heaven, like, left a bunch of, like, like, once the world was complete, they were like, well, we've got a few other samples that we can't really put anywhere else. Let's keep them on Trial Islands. Okay, never mind. This is not the Galapagos. So this is Earth. True. I mean, I don't have a good memory of what the entire Galapagos looks like, so maybe this is like one of the islands there. Although I guess that, yeah, it really is sort of like a dev test environment. So I guess it really doesn't have to like compare to anyone else or anywhere else. But when the series ends, I would like them to do something like that. Like, well, we have these extra designs we can't put anywhere else, so let's put them in a few, like, special areas. Like, that'd be a cool idea. It looks like something for the barbecue fell on the ground. It's moving! Also, sausages exist. What? So in Heaven, sausages already exist. Okay. Right. Ooh, that's real gross. Delicious animals make more appealing prey. That's why we do taste tests in the design departments, so we can give tastier animals other functions to help them survive longer. Ooh, okay. Capsaicin. It's just a spicy sausage. So clearly what they're going for here is some sort of worm, I guess? I think, honestly, just a normal earthworm would be a good invention, because then they can create a lot of species that eat earthworms, right? Ah, true, though. If they're that good to eat, then they're going to be hunted to extinction very quickly. I want to make something that begs to be eaten like a cashew. This is a beautiful looking parrot. Parrots in general are just adorable creatures. The ant-eating creature is delicious. I'm wondering if the mangaka or like if the writers actually had to like go out and taste these animals, or if they just had to like find animals and like find different places where like people actually have eaten them in order to like make sure that when they say an animal tastes good, it really does taste good. Upping its defenses made it more immobile and therefore tastier. Maybe I should have left it alone. Oh my god. Okay. So it's a sea cucumber, right? The sausage working title. But okay. Yeah, that makes sense though, because I've never had one, but apparently sea cucumber tastes good. Tasty, sanitary, won't go extinct, amazing. And yeah, even if it looks gross, it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, he doesn't care. What? Is this a thing? The glyptodonts? Okay. Okay, it's not there. I'm going to check to see if the glyptodont is a real thing. Oh, dang, they are. That's really cool. That's actually really exciting. Yeah, they are extinct now, but like, so they did exist at some points, and naturally, like, it makes sense that when they were making the armadillo in this world, of course they would also make the glyptodonts. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Armadillos in general are things that I've never really thought about people eating them, but of course people would. Still, like, the idea of there being this giant armored creature that people kill off and eat, and they taste really good, and you can use them for, like, hard armor from the very start, like, oh, that feels so fantasy-esque. Wow. Also, this is a beautiful shot. Eat me, heart. Sploosh. It wasn't like that in the original, though, right? Oh, it was! It was! Oh, I need to save that. I'm sure I'll use that for some sort of, like, I don't know. I guess, like, some sort of emoji? I was gonna say I'd use it to, like, promote the series, but there's no way. All right, we're going real fast with a lot of these. Like, I thought it'd be quite a while before we got this guy making the unicorn. So this has got to be the chapter where they make, I can't remember it now, but you know, the creature that is usually hunted for its horn. The sea creature, the narwhal. An animal that bears an impressive weapon. Ah, right, because, like, it creates a super long horn. It needs a lot of calcium in order to do that. Why did only the horse develop osteoporosis? Wait, really? I didn't know that. Also, this is a beautiful shot of everyone just laughing about it. Meanwhile, the elk is just, like, shaking. Oh, I see. Right. Horns are a luxury item. So, because it has multiple stomachs, it can, like, process that food quite a bit. But you can't make a, like, You could, I guess, make like a unicorn cow then, but it's not a horse. And so naturally, Mr. Saturn doesn't want to do it. It's like brick houses made of calcium, and horns are made by using the bricks from the completed house. So the house starts to fall apart. Ah. This is actually a fantastic metaphor. I love it. I absolutely love it. No, fuck you. That was a fantastic metaphor. Love it. 10 out of 10. Go to hell, Steve Jobs. I can totally eat this. Chomp, chomp, snap, crack. I only eat soft foods. Also, I really like this, that, like, they censored it, but they didn't do the general, like, super hardcore censoring. Because that would have been fine as a way to just say, like, oh, it's poop, so let's, make sure you can't see it. But they went out of their way to draw the poop in a realistic way. And then they mildly censored it. So, like, you can still see the poop. You can still, like, get the scientific knowledge behind that. But at the same time, it's not the grossest. Like, I think that's pretty cool. Right, not magnificent at all. Maybe he didn't make bulls yet. Because I guess that would be doable. But I definitely don't think they're going to do it. Because, I don't know. Because he wants to do a horned horse. So I can't imagine they're going to do the narwhal then. Like, that's too much of a difference. So, what else could they do? What if we make the horn hollow? Okay. So, still looks beautiful. Just has a hollow horn. But yeah, still doesn't have enough energy. Oh no, it'll be a fat horse. I know, let's make it an idiot. He made a bimbo unicorn. Oh no, because it's an idiot. Oh, it's insect department. Oh no, yabe! Rip. And now it doesn't even look good. It's gonna stay an idiot. Oh boy. So yeah, so it's hard to break. It's springy. Bendy like bamboo, like a wand, sort of. It's hollow. Unicorns don't exist, though, so there's no way you can win, right? They are really beautiful, though, I've got to say. Like, they look really good, but there's no way. They show each other their claws, but don't actually fight. They're fighting. They're fighting. Yes, that's right. You fools. Fighting only results in losses on both sides. The crab is wise. The unicorns are too stupid. Oh, what's this horn? I love it. Oh, it's from my failed horse design. Can I try putting it on my whale? Go for it. Narwhal approved. Oh my god, that was really good. Because the entire chapter was about unicorns. Like, they ended up doing narwhal as I anticipated. But it was basically just like one final gag at the very end. Like, not even the final page. Like, the final third of the final page was like, oh hey, let me get this nice horn. Stick it on this narwhal. Yay, we got narwhals. Oh, that was a really good chapter. I do think that's really cool. Like, the idea of deterrence seems like a very human thing, but it really isn't. Like, it is a very primal idea. And I guess humans have deterrents that are just harder to visualize, like nuclear weapons. You can see the power of a nuclear weapon on, like, videos and stuff, but it's very hard to, like, reconcile that with, oh yeah, if someone drops a nuke on this city, it's going to annihilate the city. Like, especially because a lot of people use nuke in this very, like, I don't know how to put it. In this very, like, disrespectful way, I guess I'd say it. This idea of, like, oh, they nuked that city block. When it's like, no, a nuke is way scarier than that. Like, not just in terms of, like, physical damage, but in terms of, like, shockwave damage. In terms of, like, pollutants. And in terms of the EMP. Like, it's real scary. And it feels like a disservice to just take a big explosion and go, like, oh my god, it's a nuke. I think that kind of, like, makes nukes in general less scary to people because they don't realize how insanely, like, terrifying the power of a true nuclear weapon is. Whereas, like, with a crab, they don't have to do it. Like, I guess eventually, like, you could have cases of crabs who go out there and they're like, that crab doesn't have a giant claw. Let's go out there. Oh no, it's got a giant claw, and it runs back away. But, like, there's that inherent idea of, like, okay, I know what the big claw can do, so not going to test it. Even if it turns out that the claw won't be that good. At the same time, it's like, well, why risk it? Oh, okay, new marine species. What do we have? This could be a jump off from, okay, never mind. The bottlenose dolphin, approved. So many dolphins, pilot whale, porpoise, they're all approved. Okay, I was going to say, like, is this are Are we just jumping off of the Narwhal chapter? But no, never mind. Oh, that's really cool. So they decided to brainstorm a bunch of very similar designs, which makes sense. Like, I'd have to imagine, especially with, like, very closely related species of birds. Like, some of those might be, like, you know, those could be situations where the angels come up with a few, and then they're like, oh, shit, well, we need a new bird for this specific problem, so let's make a new one that is, like, basically this one, but slightly different, instead of, like, updating it. But I guess this also makes sense, in that, like, if one gets through, they might have this burst of inspiration go, like, okay, let's make a bunch of these, or a bunch of, like, very distinct, but very similar designs. Now we cracked this one really cool design. Wait, a Kelpie! Oh my god. Jupiter, what the fuck are you doing? No, not the Kelpie I came up with! That's beautiful. I thought I could ride the momentum. Okay, the hippo. Really? Oh, because they have eyes on the side. Okay. That's true. That's also pretty cute. I pulled the nose up. The nose is on top of the head. How revolutionary. I didn't think about that, but yeah. Like, dolphins and whales do have the, you know, the blowhole. And yeah, it is cuter if it's not too nose-like, because that means you can create a design where there is, like, theoretically no nose. Like, it doesn't look like there's a nose. Like, as much as I know that dolphins are horrible creatures, and I shouldn't like them, at the same time, like, you can't help it on some level to go like, man, dolphins are kind of cool. That is nuts. So they have independent brains. They can, like, one half of the brain can stay up while the other half is sleeping. That is insanity. Oh no, rip squid. Wait, what? This way is up. I mean, that's true. I guess it's because, like, usually you see them being depicted the other way around. Like, head and then body. But usually, like, you see the head being at the bottom when they're, like, eating things. It ejaculates through one of its arms. Pluto is fantastic so far. My arm ejaculators might go extinct. I'm gonna make the squid smart enough to talk too. Maybe it can change colors to communicate, like when people use flag signals. Oh my gosh, this is absolute insanity. Okay. So it's saying, yo, I got big balls. Ooh. Oh, this is great. It's just debate club at this point. It's just a my creature is stronger than your creature battle. This is fantastic. That's a good metaphor, too. Smoke screen. Is ink useful in the dark? Then I'll prove it. Smoke screen of light. Wait. Oh, yeah, there are bioluminescent squid. For a minute there, I was like, well, this is insanity. But no. Okay, that's really smart. You're the naive one. If it goes to the surface with its back to the sun, you can't see it. This really is amazing because it's all real. This feels like a chapter of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, except with real animals. Mega jump. He's still eating the spicy sausage. I have to use my trump card. I'll upgrade my squid to a giant. Also, when he said that, like, so the client's been watching too. Like, does that imply the client is God? I mean, there is the whole Trinity thing with God, so maybe it's possible that, you know, the Holy Spirit or something approves, but then the other two, like, are the clients, perhaps, something like that. Because up to this point, they've been acting as if the client is different than, you know, than God. But if they're the same thing, then You really pushed me to my true potential. It was a good contest, but let's end it. Sonic Blast! Oh my gosh. I guess so. The seahorse is just a Kelpie. Oh, and that's such a good plot twist. Because I didn't consider that at all. But yeah, I guess the seahorse is sort of a horse design, sort of, kind of. Not really at all, but it makes sense that he would want to do that. Oh my god. Yeah, that's... oh my god. Okay, so we're going into the seahorse some more. This is good, because seahorses are real weird designs, so I guess they'll have to do some upgrades. It looks like someone added a little something. Mommy? Daddy? Wait, what? I'm Kenta Saturn! Thanks for always helping my grandpa out! What in the world? Okay, so now we have a tiny little kid character who is going... oh, and that's why he wants to push the horse. Like, not just because he likes horses himself, because he was like, yeah, that's my based idea. But also because Kenta is also going to be, like, super into horses. Of course, we'll use these plans as they are. I can't bring myself to nip a child's talent in the bud. Having the male be the mommy and the female be the daddy is a fundamental contradiction. Nah, gotta do it though. Gotta do it. We developed it for the order of an animal that lives in a group, but only one couple gets to mate. That is a real cruel request. Okay. And yeah, so they're not angels. They're just like, yeah. I thought I mentioned that before, but they are just like beings living in heaven. Whereas, yeah, like they need to have an angel. Okay, which creature did she come up with that did that? I mean, there are lots of hermaphroditic characters or creatures, but oh, the anglerfish. Really? I didn't know that. Melts into his body melts, their blood vessels merge, then his brain melts and he loses consciousness. Okay, I knew about this. But I didn't realize that the male and the female were like okay, I guess that works. See, what I thought she meant here was that like I knew this. I knew that the female absorbs the male. Like I thought that was super cool. But I thought she meant that, like, that's not really the male being a female and the female being a male. Okay, why don't we have the male give birth? Okay. Yeah. So she shoots the eggs into the male, and the male gets pregnant, and the male eventually gives birth. A male who understands the pain of childbirth. That's really cool. I showed him the heart of the biggest animal in the world. I thought it would please him. Yeah, why'd you show him an organ? Why not show him just the biggest animal? Aw, I like horses. Aw. Wait, what? They transform? Oh no, this isn't okay. This definitely was not approved. The biggest combination animal in the world. And yeah, that's true. You're the one who showed him the whale. It's your fault. You're describing an anglerfish. No, no, no. Don't show him an anglerfish megazord. What? The siphonophore. That's really interesting. I didn't know this existed. Okay. So they can create a chain that is longer than a blue whale. Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know about this. Okay, my design. The snake. I'll contribute my bird. I'll go with anteater. Also, I like that he brought up the rivalry they've had. The anteater, the sea cucumber, and the squid. What is this combination? It's a demon. They made Cthulhu. What if something dangerous were to be approved? Oh my god, that's legit. They really made Cthulhu. I was really wondering, like, where are they going with this? But no, they made actual Cthulhu. And now Cthulhu is canon, but, you know, it was deleted. But still, it canonically existed for like a second. Also, I like her worry that, yeah, God might look at this and go like, yeah, sure, approved. Oh no. Oh no. Is it Cthulhu? Yeah, we got rid of the monster, so it's not Cthulhu. I was playing in that room, making lots of drawings. Oh no. So Kenta made a creature that was approved by God. Oh boy. Okay, let's see what this is. It functions more like a corporation with a variety of specialized departments that combine robots. Okay. Wow, that's really cool. And yeah, like, it's not made for combat or anything. But because the deep sea is so very calm, it can just keep on stacking, like, hydrozoans upon hydrozoans. It can just get long and longer and longer and longer forever. Oh, hey, they're called seahorses in Japanese and English. That's really cool. Because, yeah, like, I imagine a lot of it, like, if a language didn't derive the name for this creature from, like, the English or from, like, I feel like seahorses come from Europe, right? Maybe? Am I wrong? Probably I'm wrong. Let's see, actually. We have the information right here. Why am I trying to guess? Shallow tropical and temperate waters. So, let me look this up quickly. Seahorse. Because every time someone brings it up, it's usually, like, the ancient Greek word, hippos, and, okay. Where do they live, though? Habitats. Nova Scotia to Uruguay. Really? That's quite a stretch. Colonies have been found in European waters, so some may exist in Europe, but In any case, so I guess that is Heaven's design team. Overall, what a good series! I've been into a lot of the series I've been picking up as of late, but this was like a 10 out of 10 amazing series. Holy shit! I didn't know I wanted this until right now. Like, it almost doesn't feel like manga with how good it is. That's so weird to say because I'm running a manga reaction channel, but like, in general, I prefer Western comics to manga because I think they're more inventive and I don't know, like, I like shared universes. I also like creator-owned independent comics that are still like just, I don't know. There's something inherent about Western comics that I like more than manga. But this was like it had all the strengths of a good manga series while also having like the inventiveness of something I'd imagine from like a webcomic or from like a like Western educational comic. And that's very, very exciting. Wow, I am going to look forward for volume 2. Because man, this is so exciting. This is so good. Ah, I can't really say much about the whole series apart from just like I like the cast of characters. I think it was probably a good thing to like look at all of them here. I'm gonna like follow this by volume, so it's gonna be a while before I get to the next one. So luckily I'll be able to look at the profiles in the next volume to figure out like who does what. So far I've liked all the characters a lot. If I had to guess, I'd say I don't know, I like Pluto a lot, but I mean like I feel like she's very easy to like. Whereas I feel like Jupiter is a bit less easy to like, but like he has a good gimmick when it comes to like the cow and when it comes to like just wanting to eat things. I'm so happy I picked up the series. I love it. I absolutely love it. So until next time, this was Thermite. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.